Phoenix Raceway, Sunday, March 8th, 2026. The Straight Talk Wireless 500 is in its final 10 laps, and Ryan Blaney, after being penalized twice and dropped to the back of the field, is charging hard in the number 12 Team Penske Ford. He gets around Ty Gibbs. The crowd goes absolutely nuclear. Blaney takes the checkered flag, his 18th career Cup Series win, and Penske's second victory in as many days at this track. But here's the thing, behind every one of those sponsor decals lining the car, behind every shouted lap time and every tire strategy call, there's a financial machine humming at full throttle. And if you've ever wondered how in the world a NASCAR team actually keeps the lights on, the tires spinning, and the engines running, the answer is far more complicated and far more fascinating than you might think. Let's go back to 1948. Bill France, senior a gas station owner who'd relocated to Daytona Beach, gathered 35 men in the Streamline Hotel and, quite literally, invented the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. The sport was raw. The cars were barely street legal. The prize money was almost laughable by today's standards. Teams made money the simple way: finish as high as possible, collect a portion of the gate revenue, maybe get a local parts store to slap a logo on the door. The economics were brutally direct. If you won, you ate. If you didn't, you figured out how to get the car to the next track anyway. Curtis Turner reportedly once pawned a racing trophy just to buy fuel. The sponsorship era began to crystallize in 1971, when the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company stepped in with a landmark deal that transformed the Winston Cup Series into a nationally recognized brand. Suddenly, there was real corporate money on the table, and the economics of stock car racing would never be the same. Fast forward to the 21st century, and running a NASCAR Cup Series team is less like owning a race car and more like operating a mid-size media company that occasionally goes 180 miles per hour. The revenue model has 4 pillars. Pillar 1, sponsorship still the king. Between 60 and 80% of a team's annual revenue comes from corporate partners paying to plaster their logos on the car, the fire suit, the pit box, the hauler, and the social media feeds. At Phoenix this past weekend, the Straight Talk Wireless 500 title itself was a sponsorship arrangement, a company buying its name on your television screen for 3 hours straight. Sponsoring a top 10 Cup team costs at minimum $300,000 per race. A full primary sponsorship with a premier team, we're talking tens of millions of dollars annually. Pillar 2, the charter system, introduced in 2016, which gave 36 teams guaranteed starting positions and guaranteed revenue. Think of it like a franchise license. You hold one, you show up, you get paid a base amount just for being there, with chartered teams receiving anywhere from roughly $185,000 to nearly $500,000 per event in charter-based payouts alone. Pillar 3, media rights money. NASCAR's broadcast deal that kicked in for the 2025 season and runs through 2031 is worth $1.1 billion per year, a 34% increase over the previous deal, with Fox, NBC's streaming platform, and Amazon all paying for the privilege of putting these cars on American screens, and 25 cents of every dollar flowing back to the teams. And Pillar 4, merchandise, licensing, and the digital economy, your Tyler Reddick t-shirt, the die-cast replica of Blaney's Penske Ford, the YouTube highlights and sponsored Instagram posts, all of it feeds back into the team's coffers. Here's the uncomfortable truth that Phoenix's $11 million race purse can't quite hide. For much of the past decade, most NASCAR teams have been losing money. In 2024, court documents filed as part of a landmark antitrust lawsuit revealed something stunning. The weighted average loss per car across the Cup Series was $2.2 million annually. The lawsuit was filed in October 2024, by two teams who refused to sign NASCAR's new charter agreement. 23XI Racing, co-owned by NBA legend Michael Jordan, and three-time Daytona 500 champion Denny Hamlin, and Front Row Motorsports. Their core argument was blunt. NASCAR owned the majority of the tracks, controlled the charter payouts, and dictated the suppliers for the next-gen car, while the teams putting on the show were receiving barely 7% of the sport's total estimated value. The trial began December 1st, 2025. 8 days of bruising testimony followed NASCAR executives, team owners, economists, Denny Hamlin on the stand, Michael Jordan in the front row, and then on December 11th, 2025, just days before Christmas, the two sides settled. Jordan told the press, "The sport itself needs to continually change for the better, for the fans as well as for the teams. The only way this sport is going to grow is we have to find some synergy between the two entities." The terms were confidential, but the outcome was seismic. Every chartered team received permanent evergreen charters. 23XI and Front Row got their 6 charters back for 2026, and for the first time, a collective bargaining style mechanism was introduced, requiring 2/3 team approval on financial decisions. Which brings us back to Phoenix, March 2026. The dust has settled, the new financial reality is in place, and the racing is extraordinary. Tyler Reddick and 23XI Racing, the team that went to war in the courtroom just months earlier, entered the Straight Talk Wireless 500 on a historic 3-race winning streak to open 2026, sitting 60 points ahead of the field. His crew chief, Billy Scott, captured the mood perfectly in a pre-race interview on March 7th. "It's been incredible. It's spread to the whole team. Nobody's gotten complacent. Nobody's let it get an ego and think that we've made the corner here." On the Xfinity side that Saturday, 3 Old Jesse Love led a race-best 114 of 200 laps for Richard Childress Racing, only to watch a tire strategy call unravel his dominant afternoon, as JR Motorsports veteran Justin Allgaier swept past in the final 11 laps to claim his 29th career series win. Love, devastated on pit road, said, "Obviously not why I'm here. Just beyond frustrated with myself." Carson Quapil, who'd studied onboard footage from Kevin Harvick's 2014 and 2015 Phoenix wins to prepare, finished third, and put the financial stakes plainly. Every race really matters, and going and winning one of these races is huge for me. Ryan Blaney crossed the finish line on March 8th and completed a full Team Penske sweep of the Phoenix weekend, his team owner Roger Penske celebrating the organization's 60th anniversary racing season, watching from pit road as the confetti fell. That image says everything about how the most successful operations in this sport actually make money. Diversification, relationships, brand equity built across decades. Because here's what Bill France's 35 men understood in that Daytona hotel room back in 1948, what the charter system tried to codify in 2016, and what that landmark antitrust lawsuit finally forced NASCAR to reckon with honestly in December 2025. The teams are the content, the cars are the product, the drivers are the stars. Without them, there is no race purse, no broadcast deal, no title sponsor, no Straight Talk Wireless 500 beaming into millions of American living rooms on a Sunday afternoon. From a sport where you pawned your trophy for fuel money, to one with $1.1 billion in annual broadcast rights, the business of NASCAR has always been the same fundamental bet, that speed sells, that risk captivates, and that somewhere in America right now, someone is pulling on a fire suit and doing the math to make it all work for one more lap.